Hi, in this video we are going to talk about the built-in simulator in the Raspberry Pi image of DroneEngage. This video I divided it into two parts because it is long and I will talk about many technical details here. I hope you find it useful. I tried to explain every important thing that I know that is useful for you to run the simulator, or maybe add extra drones or change the drone type. So I hope you find it useful, and I hope you bear with me in this video because it contains lots of details and it's very long, and I know my language is not well. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm keeping this to the end. This is the EEPROM created for the simulator. So let's first see the simulator. This is the simulator for DroneEngage. You know, newer ROM has two things. It has DroneEngage that you connect to your drone, and it has a simulator so that you don't need a real drone to test DroneEngage features. This simulator consists of ArduPilot source code here. Okay. I compile here ArduPilot SITL, and I use the Python environment here. I use the Python environment here to compile it. And this is the DroneEngage instance for simulator. Okay, let's check them. Simulator. As we can see, these are only files. I'm trying to These are only files. They are setup files. Thank you for watching this video. This is very useful, by the way, if you want to have multiple instances of DroneEngage on the same Raspberry Pi. Where are the binaries that run DroneEngage? The binaries that run DroneEngage, let me use this tab and zoom again. Okay. LSCD. Oh, yes. Okay. Here are the binaries. There are lots of folders here. As I said, I will keep this to the end. But let us just check these folders. This is the Communicator folder. This is the main module. This is DroneEngage itself. This is the main thing that needs to run. And this is the JSON file that you need to add settings, especially your login settings here. Your login setting need to be entered here. You can easier edit this using this navigator. You need to go here, and this is the file. Here it is. You need to edit this, enter your username and access code. For many people, editing this file is risky because if you just forgot and deleted this comma, it will corrupt everything. So you can edit it using command setup. So I will use my setup here. Let's check it now. See, it made a backup and it created a new version. Here it is, the username and password. Okay, so if we want to run this, first let's check here. We updated these files, and if we want to run cd.com and we run, if we run the code like that, it will read the config file from here. Okay, so let's run. Okay, as you can see, command server connected success. So if we enter to web client here, here it is, the drone is active and connected. Okay, so let's again list. We will find a new file has been created, and this file contains instance number, contain module key, party ID, unit description, and unit ID. Why? Because party ID is the main important thing here, and also module key. Party ID is that it is the thing that distinguish your drone from other drone, because all drones has a default name Drone Cairo. So on the server, it's not only your account, but also the ID of the drone itself is unique and can be accessed directly. You can specify the name of the drone and access it. For sure, it is accessed within the umbrella of the username and password of your account. So anyway, this is the most important file, and here I copied the drone name because something here, because you can change the name from here. Let's see. Here it is. So I can make it Drone Cairo new unit page 25. Go. Okay, and now let us go here back again. We need to go back to the simulator talk, but first we need to understand how to run DroneEngage itself. So see, the new name is here. So if you open the file here, you will find the old name still exists. So if you want to edit the name here, you need to delete this file. Feel free to delete this local file. It doesn't matter. You can delete it each time you shut down the application and run it, and it will be created automatically again. It's not something important. It's just important for specific features, meaning module key and party ID. Okay, so the most important thing here we need to understand is that whenever we run DECOM, it will look for this file, unless we tell it to look for another file. Then it will look for another file for the setting, and we can give it also a local file to create rather than this file. let us see here. So back to the simulator. In this simulator, we have two files. This file, and we have here this file. This is the config file of the DE communicator that we saw here. Okay. And this is the config file of DE MAVLink. Let us cover the DE MAVLink here. CD DE MAVLink. This is the DE MAVLink. The binary itself is called DE Pilot because DE MAVLink means the module that handles MAVLink communication. And this specific version handles DE Pilot flying modes and mainly targets Pilot. So we can open this file and see what is inside it. We can view it better in the navigator here, DE MAVLink. Okay, the most important thing in the DE MAVLink is not these things. Unless you go deeper in the code, you don't need to change this at all. Maybe you need to change them if you run DE MAVLink on a separate on a separate board, because you know DroneEngage can run on different CPUs, but I mean you can have separate ports for each module. For example, the camera module can run on a separate board. Maybe you choose to run it on JSON, and maybe you run the remaining modules on a Raspberry Pi. Maybe you want to run a dedicated Raspberry Pi. For example, if you use Opal board, here it is. Okay, this Opal board uses Raspberry Pi to run, and you can run DroneEngage on the same Raspberry Pi that you use to run the Pilot on this board. And there are some videos I made for demonstrating this. Even you can stream video using the same board. Okay, anyway, so unless you want to run DroneEngage on different boards, you need to leave this alone. Okay, this is the most important settings that you need to change in MAVLink, in DE MAVLink. Why? Because DE MAVLink, you want to connect it to your actual flying board, right? The orange board, maybe the Opal board, whatever. So you need to connect. You can connect using three types of connection. You can connect UDP, and here is the UDP act as a listener. It listens to this port and it listens to all IPs. You can specify if it is local. For example, you can put 127.0.0.1, but you cannot actually, you cannot actually put 127.0.0.1 unless you are running an SITL on the same machine. If you have another board, then most probably it will have another IP, and you will have an IP, then you need to write this IP, or you need to write 0.0.0, which means I'm listening to all available IDs on this board. There is another way, is that you act as a TCP and you are listening to TCP connection. This is only used when I run the SITL on the Raspberry here, so I don't think that you are going to use it. Most probably you are going to use this, and 99% you are going to use this. This is the serial connection, where you connect the board to the flying port to Raspberry Pi using a TX-RX cable, or you can connect it from the USB directly on the Raspberry Pi 4, for example. and then it will create a USB connection. We will create a serial connection, but you will find, you need to find this name. This name could be TTY USB. It could be other things, like for example here could be SEM0 or S0. Okay, and sometimes this is 0 becomes 1. Sometimes when you connect and disconnect, it becomes USB 0, USB 1, USB 2. So it's not constant. You have two ways here. You can define a rule that creates a name for this board. So whenever you connect the board, it will be, for example, TTY Ardo USB. There is a way to do it. Okay. The other way is that you remove this one and you tell DroneEngage that this is the dynamic port. So DroneEngage will add here a number from 0 to 10. Okay, searching for the connection until it finds it. Okay, and this is a good approach, and it's working well, by the way. Okay. Anyway, so this is how you set up the connection, and there is a way to set up it from the web. In the new versions of DroneEngage, the web already, you can change the setting from the web. Anyway, I will not change anything here. So again, the simulator can run. We can start the simulators from here. Okay, the simulators are not auto start. If you want to run the simulator, you need to enter to the web client and you start them from here. Run. Okay. I guess there is an issue in the website, that because it was displayed first as with an exclamation mark here, but should update it automatically. Anyway, I will fix this. Okay, now we can arm climb climb. Okay, as we can see here, we have simulator and we can run simulator. We don't have actual drones here, and we don't have any external software. We are running and testing DroneEngage using a single Raspberry Pi, and that's it. So there is no extra code anywhere. All you need to do is to set up this account and run the simulator. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you find it useful and informative. Thank you.